Hi guys, thanks for coming back to talk a little bit about what we just did in that simulation scenario. Francis?
Okay, so you'll notice that we're back in the debriefing room, debriefing the simulation that has occurred. There's multiple students in this room, and Sarah's done a really good job of starting off first about what went well. And you can see that the student here is very attentive on describing what she thought was very well done, and it's a great way to start a debriefing. It highlights and gets those emotions down, make sure that if things hadn't gone well, we're not focusing on that. So this is a great way of doing that. You'll also notice that there are a lot of other students in this room as well, or more than just one student, and you could at this particular point, if you wanted to stay on what was going well, go around the room and ask the other students to figure out the kinds of things that they thought was well done within the scenario. Sarah also has a good use of recorded video from the simulation that was done, and is talking about what concern or wants to highlight sort of things that maybe needs a little bit of discussion around what was going on here. You want to give them some feedback and some constructive feedback in terms or some information regarding why they did such a thing, and get their frame of mind. It's not necessarily something that they've necessarily done wrong, but maybe there's a different way that they could do things better. Or in this particular case, I believe we're talking about smoking and the face that the student has made that she probably hasn't realized that she's actually done. And sometimes capturing that on film is a good way for people to be aware of their body language, how they hold themselves. And so this is the real aha moment for this particular student, that she really didn't realize that she'd made this face going into the room. The debriefer is trying to elicit that kind of information from Beth to find out whether or not she has that knowledge to look at it and make a judgment on it. Again, as after you finish that particular point, you could go around to the class and ask the rest of them in regards to what they felt that maybe they would do differently if they were in that same situation. And they may come up with different ideas. So that's one way. So that's an advocacy and an inquiry type of debriefing. At the end, Sarah also talks about some of the learnings that has occurred and what the student would take forward in the next time around. And all of this relates back to sort of the goals and the objectives of what the simulation was developed for. But again, the key is trying to make sure that we gather everybody and participate in all of that. And you'll notice that the students are writing down some things. Whether or not they do it during the debriefing because they're taking that information home as a learning information, or whether they have done it just before you started the debriefing, the information is about their reflection piece.